Hey everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. Listen, y'all, we have a lot to talk about, but before we get into that, I have some shout outs I want to do. These are very special people. They come in, they support, and I appreciate them so very much. And the first person I want to shout out would be Jennifer Clark. Jennifer is everything. She really is. She has been with me just about since the beginning, and she never fails to support. She is always coming through. She is the quintessential reader. She is always in the comments. She is such a kind and wonderful person. I appreciate her so very much. So thank you, Jennifer. Thank you for the super thanks. But most of all, thank you for being here. And Tiger Mommy came through. Yes, Tiger Mommy. She is everything, and she knows she's everything. Tiger Mommy has been with me just about since the beginning as well, and she never wavers in her support. She is the kindest, sweetest, funniest. I mean, so many adjectives. I could go on and on. She is just everything. So thank you, Tiger Mommy. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And Yulette came through. Yulette is the best of the best of the best of the best. She really is. She is always coming through. She is faithful. She writes so hard for the read. She really does. She is in those comments. She is those. Oh, I love Yulette. She is the best. And so I just want to say thank you, Yulette. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And Angela May came through. Yes, Angela came through. She is so kind. She is amazing. She is so sweet. She is so funny. And if you see a comment from her, I promise you, you'll get a kiki. She is just the best. And I am so grateful and so overwhelmed with her kindness because she rides really hard for the read. So all I want to say is thank you, Angela. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. All right, y'all, I'm going to play this and we'll talk on the other side. Y'all, I want to give another quick shout out to Jennifer Clark, to Tiger Mommy, to Yulette, and Angela May. Y'all are so special. Y'all are just everything. I could not do it without you. I couldn't, because y'all motivate me. Y'all let me know that you appreciate what I do. And that just means everything. So thank you for the super thanks. But most of all, thank y'all for being here and being a part of this community. It means everything. It does. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is, and y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. I hit these internet streets, and let me tell you, I have been in these streets most of the day, and it is so many articles coming out. These people continue to lose their mind, and we have a good month before Harry and Meghan goes on their trip to Australia. I mean, it is just ramping up. It's just starting to get the same feeling of the Pat Tillman Awards and also the Aviation Award. Yeah, it is really getting to a fevered pitch already, and we have over a month to go. These people are losing their minds, and this is exactly what I was apprehensive about when this was announced so early, because this is their MO. This is what they do. They love to feign outrage. They love to make a mountain out of a molehill when it comes to Harry and Meghan. And I am really, really apprehensive still about it. These people are so desperate for Harry and Meghan to have an unsuccessful trip. I don't know what they are willing to do in order to achieve that. It's a lot. It's a lot. But y'all, let's get into all the shenanigans, all the things that have gotten me feeling this way, because these articles that are coming out are just ridiculous. It is the ramping up for me. Just, you can hear it. It's like tick, 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 tick. I mean, these people, I just can't. I can't. But y'all, let's get into it. Just so y'all know, it might get a little bumpy, but we also have some good stuff in here as well. So it's not all about the nonsense. We got some good news that we're going to discuss as well. So y'all just strap in and know that I'm not going to keep you long, but I will keep you entertained. So let's get started. I'm going to put this up. And look at this. This is from Big Back. Yes, Big Back Becky is back. And she is on the bullshice. I mean, we thought she was going to be quiet until the whole court case was over, because we all know she has testified and just lied and lied and lied her big back off. And we thought she was going to, lay low for a while. But no, not Big Bag. She absolutely popped out today with this nonsense. Look at this. She says she's basically Fergie now. What royal insiders are saying about a 1,705-pound VIP Meet Meghan event. Yes, she's saying because the organizers of this event is charging 1,705 pounds for a meet and greet, that somehow that equates to everything that Fergie has done has been revealed in the JE files. How embarrassing for her. I mean, this right here lays bare to what a hack she is. If anybody ever had any doubts that Big Bad Becky was a hack, a shield, a fluffer for that family, all doubt should be gone, because anybody who would sit down and write an article like this and equate a woman who is doing something for free, a meet and greet at that, a meet and greet, and equate that to a woman who actually shielded, lied for, and even asked a convicted pedo for his hand in marriage. So Meghan being at a meet and greet is equated to that. I mean, this is embarrassing. She should be embarrassed, and she should be fired. If the Daily Mail had a shred of journalistic integrity, or any kind of, you know, reputation, they would fire her. You would never be able to write a story like this any other place except in the United Kingdom at a rag like the Daily Fail. Big Bag could not get a job at the local newspaper here in America because they would not have it. I mean, this is embarrassing. It is absolutely embarrassing. And it goes to show how far and how desperate they are to try to connect Harry and Meghan to JE and all the slime that is that family over there. They cannot take the fact that Harry and Meghan has come out of this clean, that them leaving was the best thing. that Harry and Meghan are respected on the world stage. They cannot handle it. They want to do something to try to connect Harry and Meghan to JE. I see it here on these internet streets. All of these flying monkeys, all of the ugly old hags, the toadies, the hags especially, are trying to peddle lies that somehow Meghan is connected to that man. And we all know that that's not true. And so this is another reason why I really feel that Meghan should draw a line in the sand about this one. She should go for the neck of Big Back. Her and the Daily Fail would be receiving a cease and desist letter from me. And if they did not take this down and issue an apology, we would absolutely have a problem, because you have to draw the line sometimes. And I really think this right here is absolutely over the line. It really is. When you start connecting someone in a public realm to people who have done the atrocities that these people have done, that have appeared in the JE files, and you are attaching that to my name, oh yeah, it's time to bring in the lawyers. And I hope Meghan will. I really do. And then she's also talking about Harry getting paid for his speech. Why shouldn't he? Why shouldn't he get paid? I can't with these people. I can't. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but I really think in this particular case, Big Back and the Daily Fail needs to be addressed. I'm just saying. And this squatty commenting on this nonsense, and that's all it is, nothing but made up nonsense, vicious made up nonsense. This squatty says basically a hit piece by a journalist implicated in phone hacking and illegal information gathering about a man and his wife who is suing the gossip rag she works for in an ongoing court case. I suppose brainless, moronic royalists will lap it up. By the way, Meghan is not being paid. Exactly. I mean, this is so mean spirited. It is so disingenuous. It is a lie. And we all know that that's all Big Back does is lie. She lied on the witness stand. So you know she is nothing except a liar. She is a liar. And so like this particular squatty said, this is nothing except a hit piece. But it would be a hit piece that I would hit them with a lawsuit about. I really would. I would absolutely go to the mattresses for this one. And this squatty said Big Back is seething and having sleepless nights because Prince Harry's lawyer made mincemeat of her testimony regarding the phone hacking case. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And she absolutely did nothing but lie and lie and lie. And I mean, it was some ridiculous lies. I mean, lies that you pretty much had to suspend your ability to think rationally, because what she was saying did not make any sense. It was so clear to anyone that this woman was lying. And this squire went on and said, as revenge, Porky Rebecca Big Bag has resorted to bad mouthing Meghan with this ridiculous, absurd column. Exactly. Because it is ridiculous and absurd and insulting to the victims in all of this. How dare you? How dare you compare Meghan having a meet and greet to a woman like Fergie, who actively participated in the nonsense with JE? I mean, a convicted pedo. Meghan has never, ever, ever did anything close to what Fergie has done, but yet and still you wanted to equate her to that. How dare you? It is absolutely unbelievable to me and insensitive as well because it was a lot of people hurt in this. I mean, this was being done to little girls. And you want to equate that to a meet and greet? Stop it. This is why this woman will never get anything from me except smoke. Every time I see her, every time she posts something, she gets nothing but smoke and disrespect. I'm just saying. And this squatty said, so their sex trafficker trader spot Andrew Charles befriending every major pedo that ever lived, Willie taking millions from a tortured Sheik, and Kate so miserable that she's trying to disappear. But who do the palace want to blame? You guessed it, Harry and Meghan. Exactly. This is them planning this story, wanting it to be about Harry and Meghan and wanting to smear Meghan, especially with this whole JE thing. They cannot take the fact that Meghan and Harry has come out of this clean. They have, and they want to try to smear them, connect them in some way to JE. You see it on these internet streets, these ugly old hags and all of these toadies and derangers are working overtime trying to create lies and narratives to connect Harry and Meghan, especially Meghan, to JE. And of course, we do nothing but absolutely tear it down every time they try to build it up. But yeah, this is what they want. They cannot handle the fact that Meghan and Harry had nothing to do with this and they left just in time. And this squatty says, I see Big Bag, who was recently in court to defend herself against allegations of unlawful information gathering, taking the time to remove her lips from Prince William's buttocks to write a hit piece about Meghan and Harry. She is William's fluffer, you know. Just FYI, my belief. And this squatty goes on and says Meghan is headlining as a special guest and she is not getting paid. Proceeds from the ticket sales benefits Lifeline Norm, a 24/7 crisis support and unaliving prevention service in Australia. Meghan has never maintained a relationship with a pedo. So what the F? Are you even comparing her to Fergie? That's disgusting. But that right there is strategic. They want to connect Meghan with JE because they know that family is absolutely head, shoulders, knees, and toes up in those JE files. And I am waiting for Kitty's name to come up. I really believe that it will come up because Kitty is way more likely to show up in the JE files than Meghan. This was the circle of people that Kitty was in. She was out there with Richard Branson, and we all know he's all up in the JE files and not in a good way. And she was out there chasing the bag. So if Kitty's name does come up in the next drop or two, I wonder how they gonna handle that. I cannot wait because we know everything that they wish on Harry and Meghan somehow ends up boomeranging on them. And I love it. And I'm going to put this up because this particular squatty had no time for Big Bag's nonsense. She decided to post some receipts. And she's not the only one. I'm telling you, you go under this post, it is nothing but squatties and supporters and just regular people calling out the bullshites in this article and posting receipt after receipt after receipt. And this particular squatty decided to, post her receipts. And so she decided not only to post receipts about Willie and Kitty, but also about Willie's pa, Charles. Yes, they all do this. This is nothing new. This is this woman just absolutely trying to cook up anything she can to try to connect Megan to J.E. and anybody who is J.E. adjacent, like Fergie. Yes, that's them trying to slime Megan with the slime of that family over there. But I digress. This particular squatty said, no, 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 no. No clutching of your fake pearls, big bag, because I got something for you. Look at this. It says William and Kate charge 15 couples £32,000 each for dinner in New York. Cash for access? Questions as royal couple courts U.S. super rich. And look who wrote this article. Katie Nichols and Caroline Graham. Not two people who are big Megan fans, huh? They absolutely are not. And here Willie and Kitty doing the very same thing that Megan is doing for this charity. I don't know if theirs went to charity or not, but I know Megan's is. Let's look at what this squatty posted about Charles. It says dinner with Charles. That'll be £100,000. Not $1,700. No, £100,000, please. Rich guests were asked to transfer cash to Royal Bank before invitations to Effingham Palace were confirmed. Yet instead, you are out here clutching your pearls and people got receipts like this. Like I said, it is embarrassing. And not only is it embarrassing to her, it's embarrassing to the fail because these articles came from the fail. The receipts came from the fail. And one of the receipts, the one I just read about Charles, came from Big Bag. She wrote it. She wrote that. So how embarrassing for her. How very embarrassing for her. And the squatty that posted these receipts said, unlike Fergie, Megan hasn't been taking money from a convicted sex trafficker. She's not charging £1,705 to meet her. As you well know, that's the cost of a 2-day event which she's speaking at with money going to charity. But why let the truth get in the way of rage bait? Exactly. That is the reason why I would absolutely have letters sent out. I would. They would have to post an apology. It is so easy and simple to just fact check. But she did not want to fact check. She didn't want to find out the fact that Megan wasn't getting paid. She didn't want to find out that this money was not being charged for Megan's event, but the whole 2-day event. She didn't want to fact check any of that, even though a little simple Google search could have absolutely cleared that up. She didn't want to do that because she had an agenda. She had a narrative that she wanted to push forward. Like this squatty said, but why would you let the truth get in the way of a rage bait? Exactly. And this one right here is an oldie but goodie. Yes, squatties were in these comments just spinning the block. Yes, they were. They were digging up old receipts. And y'all remember this when it says reveal King Charles secretly profiting from assets of dead citizens. Y'all remember that? That when you die and you don't have a will, the money goes back to him. Yes, he continues to profit off of dead people. So if you're in the United Kingdom, please make sure you have a will, because if you don't, Charles will be pocketing the monies from your estate. He will. He will use that money to buy his horse a new saddle. Yeah, I will get messy. I am just sick of these people. But y'all, I say the best for last. Look at this picture. Look at this picture that a squatty has created. I don't know. It might be real. Because we all know she is his fluffer. My belief. This squatty says Megan has never maintained a relationship with a convicted pedo, so comparing her to Fergie is disgusting. Two, Megan is not being paid for the event. She is a guest speaker, and all the proceeds are going to Lifeline Norm, a 24/7 crisis support and unaliving prevention service in Australia. Three, maybe instead of writing hit pieces about Harry and Meghan who aren't taxpayer funded, Big Bag could remove her lips from Prince William's butthole and investigate how the royal family protected Andrew for years. Yes, how about doing some real investigative journalism? What about that, Big Bag? Because right now, you ain't out here looking too good in these internet streets. You're looking like a hack. And I'm going to put this up. Here's another story that is making the rounds. And I really feel like it is a planet story. They trying to get anything to stick on the wall. They're just throwing it up there, trying to get something to stick because they want to try to divert from what they have done. What they have done. They chose to protect Prince Andrew. They chose to cloak for him. They chose to allow him to continue all of these very, very detrimental activities that he was up to. The, alleged aping of children. They absolutely was fine with that. And this is a side note. This is a side note, but I heard this on these internet streets that this is the way Andrew has always been. They said that in his marriage, he cheated on Fergie, saying that he had at least 12 affairs. This man has a problem. He is, I mean, from the evidence, of course, I have no proof, but he was out in those streets moving like a sex addict. He was. And he is a pedo, alleged pedo, and he had to be a sex addict as well to have that many affairs on a woman that you just married. It just makes no sense. Their whole lifestyle, who they are as human beings, it's, way back, I used to call them lizard people. And they're lizard people. They have cold blood running through their veins. They are not like me and you. Who would put up with a husband that had that many affairs? Not me. Not me. But let's get into what this whole article that I feel that has been planted from Effingham Palace. It says King Charles has washed his hands of Prince Harry and Meghan amidst royal crisis. Make that make sense. Harry and Meghan hasn't done anything, but yet and still, he's washing his hands of them, trying to throw something up against the wall. You see what I'm saying? Planning stories about Harry and Meghan that he has washed his hands of them like they created the crisis in which they are dealing with. Harry and Meghan had nothing to do with that. That was all y'all. Harry and Meghan are clear, but they want to continue to try to connect Harry and Meghan to their slime. And I'm going to put this up. And the reason I believe this story was planted because it originated in the scum. And we know that Buckingham Palace, or aka Effingham Palace, they always leak to the Sun because Murdoch owns the Sun, and of course they feel that they have to throw them a bone or two to keep them, happy. So I believe this whole story was to throw them a bone and to also use it in a way to try to tie Harry and Meghan to somehow the troubles of this family that they have nothing to do with. But as you can see, it says King Charles washes his hands of Harry and Meghan ahead of their Australia tour. Now, we all know that this is not a tour. This is a trip. They know that it's not a tour. It's a trip, but they can't help themselves but try to rage bait. But I digress on that point because I don't think that is the main point of the article. I think the main point of the article is still what we have talked about all this podcast, and that is their attempts to connect Harry and Meghan to JE, to that family, to slime them up as well, because they cannot stand the fact that they are slimy, and every time they go out, people are yelling about what did they know and why did you protect Andrew. So yeah, they know that Harry and Meghan are clean, and they want to try to dirty them up a little bit by lying and planning stories. This has been their tactic since the beginning, since Harry and Meghan left, actually before Harry and Meghan left. He said, Jeremy Vine did, that Willie and Kitty was jealous of Harry and Meghan and they wanted to dirty them up. Yes, they wanted to bring them down a peg or two, and it went too far. You remember when he said that? This is them trying to knock Harry and Meghan down a peg or two, because Harry and Meghan's reputation on the world stage is stellar. And that family is only making news around the world because they are being protested, they are being booed, they are being called names like parasites. That news went all the way around the world. And so, yeah, they want to try to dirty Harry and Meghan up and share the slime because they cannot handle the fact that Harry and Meghan's reputation, it is intact, and theirs are in tatters, and they want to try to spread the misery onto Harry and Meghan, the slime. That's, I believe, another reason for this article. This squatty came up under this article and said, Charles is a deadbeat father and grandfather who thinks it's more important to protect a apist and a pedo over his own son. So I am not surprised he doesn't give a damn about Harry and Meghan. Where is the lie? Where is it? He has never given a damn about Harry, Meghan, or little Archie. Let's not forget, he's the one who pulled their security and then dropped a dime on their location and would not take the phone calls after that. Absolutely did not care what happened to them, knowing that they were out there on their own. I cannot. So this right here is nothing new. This is typical trash behavior from a trash individual, a trash father, a trash grandfather, and a trash king. And this squatty posted that same article from the Mirror about Charles washing his hands of Harry and Meghan and said this. The headline says Charles has washed his hands of his son, but the subtext is clear. The palace is terrified of a couple they can't control. Harry and Meghan are living their lives doing international tours and building a legacy on their own terms. The insiders aren't angry because Harry is gone. They are angry because they have lost their favorite punching bag and realize he is doing just fine without the firm's permission. Now, I pretty much agree with this squattie's assessment of this whole situation, but that part where she said that the insiders aren't angry because Harry is gone. They are angry because they lost their favorite punching bag and realize he is doing just fine without the firm's permission. That just fine without the firm. That part right there is what is stuck in their craw. They would be just fine with Harry and Meghan being gone if they were failing. It's the thriving for them. They cannot handle the thriving. They also can't handle the fact that the heir is such a loser. And Harry the spare is such a winner. That right there makes their world upside down. It makes them incongruent. They cannot handle the unbalance of it all. And because of that, they're going to do everything they can to make the demons, in their spirits calm down. And what they're going to do, they're going to throw every bit of nonsense and chaos Harry and Meghan's way until this trip to Australia comes to a close. They are going to create all manners of chaos. I don't put anything past them. They want Harry and Meghan to fail, and they're going to use everything in their power to try to make that happen. I see it coming. I see it ramping up. It is going to be a hell of a month because we are a month out before Harry and Meghan even touch down in Australia. And it's going to get bad. Just be prepared because it's bad already. Can you imagine a month? Now, I understand. I'm not saying I don't understand that Harry and Meghan had to make the announcement a month, more than a month out, because I'm sure that these people have to sell tickets and whatnot. But I have a feeling this is going to be the Pat Tillman Award all over again. It is going to be messy. They will not allow Harry and Meghan to live their lives in peace. It's as if they cannot leave them alone. And it's so strange to me. It really is. Why people can't leave other people alone? I'm going to put this up and look at this. This is how you know that these people are not going to go quietly into the night. They are going to plant stories and try to just keep up as much chaos using those flying monkeys as they can. It says always following the leader. What is this particular squatty talking about? Well, look at this. Hello Magazine. King Charles makes surprise reference to Australia after Harry and Meghan's trip announced. Yes, hadn't spoke Australia and God only knows when, but all of a sudden Australia is a priority. And look at this. Prince William sends message to Australia after Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's announced trip there. These people are sick. They really, really are. They don't even want to allow Harry and Meghan to do anything. And I believe including breathe. Because if they could get away with it, Harry and Meghan would not be breathing. You cannot tell me that they would be. They just know that the world's eyeballs are on them, and it is going to be impossible to pull something like that off. That's the only reason they hadn't attempted to pull it off, because I really, really believe that. Particular squatter posted about William sending that special message to Australia and said, Prince William has willfully turned himself into a poor man's Prince Harry. Where's the lie? Everything Harry does, he does. It's as if he doesn't have a brain. He is the scarecrow in the Wizard of Oz of that family. He just doesn't have a brain. He can't come up with an original idea. So he does nothing but copy off of Harry. Can you imagine growing up in a family with a older brother who did nothing but copy you? I mean, everything that you did. And when you made a success of something, he wanted it for himself. He wanted to take it from you. I cannot. Poor Harry. Harry had to thrive within that environment. Can you imagine? That is the reason why it's zero chance Harry and Meghan will divorce, because Harry will never ever give up on his family. This is something he has desired and something, frankly, he needed. So, yeah, I feel for Harry because Willie is just like the scarecrow. He has no brain, and he is a poor man version of Harry. And I'm going to put this up. I found it so funny and so fascinating because this particular squatty made a full list of the things that Harry and Meghan can't do. At least according to the flying monkeys, the ugly old hags, the toadies, the derangers, and all the minions of that family over there, and including that family, Harry and Meghan cannot do these things. This squatty said. So Harry and Meghan aren't allowed to, one, visit other countries. Where is the lie? They don't want them to go on a trip no farther than their front yard. They don't want them in any country. It can be a Commonwealth country or not. Because when they were in Nigeria, a Commonwealth country, they had a problem with that. And then when they were in Colombia, a non Commonwealth country, they had a problem with that, which is a non Commonwealth country. They have a problem with that because now Gardner has devoted his life to trying to get Harry deported. Y'all know, I bet right now, as I'm speaking, he is filing some kind of paperwork to try to get access to Harry's visa so he can snoop around in it, seeing if he can find something he can use against Harry in order to get him deported. They do not want them even in America. They do not want Harry and Meghan to be in any country. And let's not forget in Canada too, they absolutely did not want them to be in Canada, which is a Commonwealth country. Where in the world are they to go? On the moon? I mean, it makes no sense. But do irrational people ever make any sense? I don't think so. And number two, it says participate in charity work. Where is the lie? It doesn't matter if it's something that they have created, Harry and Meghan, I mean, or if this charity had already been going on and Harry and Meghan wanted to support it. No, they can't participate in any of that without hearing from the flying monkeys, the ugly old hags, the smelly skanks, and on and on and on, the derangers, the trolls. They hear from them all because they seem to think that Harry and Meghan shouldn't be allowed to do charitable work. And number three, own a business and earn a living. Where is life? Where is it? Meghan builds her business up from whole cloth. I mean, she created it out of whole cloth and has created this successful business. Harry is out here making his money, working for a better up and doing all the things that he does, but they don't want them to do that. No, you cannot earn a living And if somebody wants to pay you, why are you taking the money? And if you do take the money, you need to donate it to charity. I mean, it is crazy town. These people. And it says go to ball games. That's true. Every time they go to a ball game, they absolutely have something to say about it. They do. And it says be in love. Now that right there is the truth too. They don't want Harry and Meghan in love. They want them to be divorcing. How many articles, how many times we watch these people on panel after panel after panel telling us that Harry and Meghan was divorcing, that he was living somewhere in an apartment in LA, and on and on and on. Yes, they do not want them to be in love. And it says, love their children. Where is the lie? Where is it? They absolutely do not feel that Harry and Meghan should love their children enough to hide their face and make sure that they have their privacy. They feel that those children should be used for their profit. Yes, the flying monkeys do. And that family over there feel that they should be used to prop them up, cleanse them. Yeah, so I agree with that as well. And it says, all right, just live their lives in peace without having every moment to be a effing crime. Exactly. Everything that they do, they make it into a crime. And these are just things that everyday people do. Harry and Meghan have money. And so they move like they have money. They have time to have charity. They have a foundation. All of these are things that when you have some money, this is what you do. Why is when Harry and Meghan does it, it's a problem? You know why? Because they want them to fail. They predicted them to fail. And that's the story that they really want to write, that Harry and Meghan has failed. They have come back with the tail between their legs. Well, Harry has divorced Meghan and he has come back with his tail between his legs, begging his brother for another opportunity for him to put his foot on his neck. That's the narrative that they want, not the one that Harry and Meghan are thriving and are global advocates. Not that one. Not success, failure. And I'm gonna put this up because Willie and Kitty has been out and about. Yes, they have done an engagement and they have described this engagement as a pop-up. They popped up in Burroughs Market during lunch hour. Yes, to ensure that a lot of people would be there for the money shots. And I'm telling you, the funniest thing happened. This queen, she was grabbing her lunch, and as you can see, she was there with her sandwich, and she looked around and saw Willie and Kitty was there also. And this queen right here continued to eat her sandwich. Yes, she did. She looked over there, saw who they were, and proceeded to mind her business. This particular squatty wrote about this and said the very much loved and very much popular future king and queen are here. And as you can see, it was people taking pictures. It was. Now, I'm not going to pretend like people didn't react to them at all, but this queen right here was not impressed. Ooh, she is my spirit animal. She is. It was so funny, the video. She peeped around the corner, saw who it was, and just kept it a buck and kept on keeping on with her day. Yeah, she just went about her day. Went about her day and absolutely did not act as if she was bothered. Yes, I love it. And what's so funny about this, the news media zoomed in on her. Yes, they started to focus on her because she was so unbothered, so unimpressed with the future king and queen dumb as a rock. I assumed she only had an hour to eat and she was not going to participate in any nonsense that Willie and Kitty had cooked up. I'm just saying. And this squatty posted about this whole event and said the Wales couple could run naked up and down the streets of London at this point, and people would just keep going about their business. Presenting William and Kate, the grim future of the British monarchy. Where is the lie? Nobody gets excited when they see Willie and Kitty. And Lord knows that old tired performance that Kitty gives every time has worn so thin with everybody. I cannot with that performance. I mean, she gives it every time. The throwing back of her head, the gaping of the mouth, taking the same picture over and over and over again with the surprised look on her face with her mouth open, showing all of that plaque that is hiding behind her veneers. It is so worn out. When will she get a new routine? Because people are absolutely bored to tears with this one. You are guaranteed to get one money shot picture of her with her mouth open, pretending like she is having the time of her life. I mean, at the football games, at a bakery, at a hospital for terminally ill children with cancer, anywhere she is at, even when she went back to the so-called hospital that she got her chemotherapy, she had a picture with her mouth gaped open, pretending as if she is the happiest woman in the world. It doesn't matter where she's at, she's going to get that money shot. And that money shot, one of them is going to be the open mouth laugh. That is her big move, and she is going to do it every single time. Not every other time, every time. It is so annoying. So I understand why this queen kept eating her sandwich. And I'm going to put this up because Omid had to enter the chat. Yes, he did. He saw this video of this queen absolutely going on about her day and minding her business, even though the future king and queen dumb as a rock had made an appearance. And Omid said, me after I left the royal beat. He is pretty much saying he could care less. He has no interest in any of them at this point. I love it for Omid. I love that he is here in America and he is living his best life, and all of his hopes and dreams are starting to come true. He was fair. In his reporting, he was very fair, and he is missed. He really is. His voice is missed on the royal beat. And I'm going to put this up because this was in the Sun, and it's about this same engagement with Willie and Kitty. Can you believe that they did more than one thing on this engagement? They went to different places in the borough market. They did. And this article is about Kate preparing William a coffee. It says, heir to the beer. Kate gets stuck in the brewery after getting Will's coffee order wrong on visit to viral food market. It says Kate was guided through the art of creating a cappuccino at the Borough Market coffee shop, but her efforts were rejected by Wills, who wanted a decaf. After rolling up her sleeve and getting stuck in, Kate handed the finished drink to William, saying, I've made a coffee for you, William. But then he asked, is it decaf? And she replied, no. He absolutely rejected it after that. And this particular squatty posted about it and said, Kate excitedly made William a coffee, which he publicly rejected. He did. He absolutely turned her away and said, and told her to sell it. He didn't want it. This is like being swatted off all over again. He cannot help himself. His mask will slip every time, every time. Now, Kate, she holds that mask up, but his will slip. It says, they will never beat those separation allegations. Cause what do you mean you don't know which coffee your husband of 14 years takes? Exactly. Kate doesn't know how William takes his coffee. She was shocked as everybody else that he liked a decaf. You cannot make me believe that these two are living in the same house. It is hard to believe that they live in the same country. Cause Kate, she absolutely does do the whole act. I mean, she really, really tries. But William, his mask, it slips from time to time. And this was a slip. It was. And I am going to include this post because this is from a person who is not a squatty. And I just found it interesting and very fascinating that when William gives little glimpses into his true personality, people don't like him. They don't. This person who is not a squatty, who is just someone who happened to see or read this article, they said this: the more I see and hear about William as king in waiting, the more I really dislike him. As far as I can see, he doesn't have any redeeming qualities. If Kate had made a coffee for him at home and didn't use decaf and he refused, it would be bad enough. But he did this in public with media. He's a pig. Well, yeah, he is. He is that. But I don't feel sorry for Kate. I don't. This is the man that she stalked for over 10 years. She ran him down and she finally got him. So now you made your bed, sleep in it. She is absolutely just as equally as nasty as he is. So, no, I have no sympathy for her. I think both of them, they really deserve each other. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but that's my thoughts on it. And I don't understand why this woman is surprised. She must not have been paying attention. And Henry VIII posted this. Evidently, Kate went into a booth that serves some kind of dessert, and the name of it is Mumble. What is it? Mumble Crumble? Yes. So Henry VIII said, guys, they finally gave Kate her own merch. Yes, Mumble. The jokes just write themselves, don't they? I'm telling you, with a Mumbles apron on, oh my goodness, what could be said? And I'm gonna put this up. People magazine posted this. It says Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, secretly visited the US. And my thoughts on that is, was it really secretly, or if nobody just didn't care? I am believing that it might be the latter. Nobody knows who Sophie is, and nobody is checking for her. But one thing about Sophie, she is much more accomplished than Kitty. She is head, shoulders, knees, and toes above Kitty. She really is. And it says Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, reportedly traveled to New York to attend the UN Commission on the Status of Women. Prince Edward's wife serves as global ambassador for International Agency for the Prevention of Blindness and champions gender equality initiatives. Sophie previously attended the commission in 2025 and delivered a keynote address at the UN's Friends of Vision group meeting. Yeah, so Sophie has some substance to her. And let's be honest, Kitty could have never. She couldn't. If it was absolutely required of her, Kitty could not do any of what Sophie just did. That is the reason why I have a problem with the monarchy. Sophie, who is a much more accomplished woman, is going to have to look at the back of Kitty's head, a woman who absolutely can just barely tie her shoes. I mean, it makes no sense to me, but it is what it is. But yeah, Sophie is a real one, and I always give Sophie her props. And I also will be giving her nothing but smoke as well because of her behavior at the Queen's funeral, side eyeing Megan. Yes, I will always have a certain amount of smoke just for Sophie. And I'm gonna put this up because looks like Versace has a new spokesperson. Yes, it is Kelly Osbourne, zombie dead body. Yes, it is her. It is she. This particular squatty that posted it said WTF. Yep. This is it. And had the nerve to put up their jealous much. No, not jealous at all. Y'all, I got to stop it. I got to stop being busy. Oh my God. And y'all know I love to end on a positive note, and we got some positive news. We did. Guess who found a distributor? Yes, it is the Cookie Queens. And this came out in People magazine. It says Meghan Markle's and Prince Harry's back documentary Cookie Queens is heading to a movie theater. Cookie Queens, which follows the Girl Scouts' iconic cookie selling season, is set to release this summer. Yeah, so we gonna get to see it. Y'all know what we got to do. Y'all know we got to blow up the spot. Yes, it says on Thursday, March 12th, it was announced that Cookie Queens, the Girl Scout cookie documentary executive produced by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, was acquired by Roadside Attractions and set to open in U.S. theaters this summer. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. And they say that this Roadside Attraction is a subsidiary of Lionsgate. So, yeah, it has a huge company behind it. So I am so happy for Cookie Queens, and I am so happy for Harry and Meghan. Yes, come on through. I am still keeping my fingers crossed, my toes crossed, my legs crossed, my eyes crossed that they will get a nod from the Academy Awards next year. Oh, I would not be able to get up off the floor. I can't, y'all. I can't. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all a little later. Bye.